What's up? My name is Mitch. I go by Musclebones on Instagram. I have a YouTube channel that sees maybe average one upload a year at this point. Um, and my Instagram history is rivaling that, about one post a year at this point. Very active in the Discord and Instagram DMs. I would think maybe not very active in Discord, but yeah.
Yeah,
Like to flip beads.
Why, when, and with what Begleri did you start with?
Oh, sure. Yeah, so back in 2016, I found myself, I was playing too many video games. So I actually made like a commitment to myself to give up video games completely. And in an effort to find something to fill the time, I started kind of digging into like alternative hobbies. I was looking into like lock picking, and actually that's how I found ballet flipping. I was flipping a trainer a little bit, and I liked flipping a lot. That was really exciting for me. It was so much fun to have something small, because I'd grown up as skateboarding and riding BMX and stuff like that, kind of extreme sports where you do tricks. So with the ballet flipping, I kind of felt like I could get something like skateboarding in my hands, and that was just super exciting. But
Are you still good at ballet?
no. No, I flipped ballet for maybe a month before I started realizing that like I needed a little bit. Well, at the time, the squid trainer was really not a common item to come across. So getting a good trainer was a heavy investment of money.
Yeah, that's so true. You
And
really do need a good trainer.
yeah, and in New York, I live in New York. In New York, it's legal to have a ballet, but you can't carry it. And there are a couple websites that just wouldn't even ship a trainer to my house, which was kind of funny. I actually got into an argument with Blade HQ's customer support over email, telling him that you can send it to me, but they wouldn't. And then as far as live blades go, I mean, I really wanted to flip live. I really have a lot of respect for people who flip live, and I'm still impressed when I see that. So to me, kind of like a personal reason, I wanted to either flip live or not flip at all. I don't have that same opinion anymore, but at the time I did.
Flip
And
live,
then,
not at all. Wow.
Yeah, and I wanted to do it right, and I don't know what the ballet community's opinion on it is now, but I fell victim to peer pressure. Everybody was saying, you should flip live, and actually I did get a live blade at a knife shop near my house, and on my first opener I sliced my pinky open.
Oh,
And at that point I said, all right, not for me.
Whoa. I mean, wait,
Yeah.
when you say community, like, was there like boards or something you were talking on?
Reddit. Yeah, Reddit. The
Oh.
ballad song flipping Reddit was the first one I got involved in. I wasn't on Instagram at all at this time. Just
Wow.
YouTube and Reddit, which I was following on YouTube. I was watching a lot of Assassin Flan and Nardath.
Aswa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
a
those
variation.
guys on Nardath, that's his name, right? Nardath, I'm not saying that wrong. The guy from Canada who does a lot of kendama these days, but was really good at.
I wouldn't know. I don't know much about the ballad song community.
I'm gonna do one quick Google search, so I'm not saying his name wrong.
You're so polite. Look at this, ladies and gentlemen. How
Yeah, there
polite
you go.
Mitch is. What a beautiful man.
Yeah, so I was watching a lot of Nardath and Assassin Flan, and I remember there was like a Snapchat compilation video Nardath posted where he was slinging Begleri in an airport. And when I first saw that, I was like, whoa, what is that thing? I want to try that out. That looks pretty sick. So at the time, I was working at a gas station for boats, which is called a gas dock. And so I was in this office at the gas dock, and I took some fishing line and some nuts that I found laying around, and I tied it up, and I started just clicking it back and forth.
Wait, that's how you made your first Begleri? Or
Yeah, fishing line and nuts in at work.
What? What?
Yo, fishing line? What?
Soup like the not even a like it's not even a cord. It's so thin, like the thinnest thing you could possibly see is a
That's
little
what,
string.
that's what I'm thinking. Usually you'd start off with like, I don't know, hex nuts and cord, but
No, I didn't even
Yeah.
know what to do. I didn't know how
fishing
long to
line?
make it.
Oh my god.
How did you know what it was? Like that you saw it in the video? That's what you
Yeah,
said?
I saw Nardath doing it, and then Assassin Flan had a video where he talks about it a little bit. He had a series called Daily Drop on YouTube where he would make a video and just talk until he dropped his valley.
Oh
And he did
wow.
one with a Begleri. So I had seen both those guys do it, and I was very inspired by them both. So I saw them do it, and
Just want to butt in, but that's a freaking awesome idea to just sling Begleri and talk until you drop it. Why is nobody doing that?
hey, that's Patrick's. Started that years ago. I'd say do it for sure if anybody's interested in doing that.
Oh, we got a round square in the chat. Hey, what is up, Matthew? Yes. Jumping in to say hello. Hey. All right, back
Awesome.
to the origin stories from Mitch here. Fishing line and 2 hex nuts that you found at a boating station. You were getting gas.
Yep. And just all I did with that was just 2-finger wraps. Like I held it in, I guess what we would call, what was it, high grip or 1-2 or standard grip or whatever you want to call it, between your index and middle finger. I held the nuts and I just would do 2-finger wraps back and forth. And it was really hard. It was I was shocked. I thought it'd be a little bit easier to get a feel for it, and I couldn't do it. And I looked up, I saw like TGP's tutorial, and I couldn't really figure out how to do it because I made it too long.
Oh yeah, because his videos were so small. Short game.
Short game.
Mm-hmm. All short game
And so,
tutorials.
yeah, and then I looked up, just looking on the internet for Begleri, and of course I found Around Square's sets. And at that time, I'm pretty sure it was like right after the AO2 crew was announced, and I thought that was really sick, and I really wanted Around Square beads, but I think the only thing available at the time was the Titanium Titans, and that was too much money for me at the time. I was a little bit stingy on my dollars. I didn't want to jump in on something I wasn't so sure about, so I grabbed I think it was like a $10 or $15 set that some guy was selling on an EDC website. That was these little classic conical, I guess what we would see as the AO2 standards nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And once I got that, and I started playing with those, I was really got into that. I actually have a picture of those on my Instagram. When I did like a 1 or 2 year Slingiversary post.
I probably won't be able to find it fast enough.
No, that's fine. And yeah, that's I don't know how detailed you want me to get. Once I got those, I was slinging those for a little bit. Then the Kuma video came out, and I got my Titan Sports.
So you're slinging for a couple of months, like before the Kuma video, then?
Yeah, I started in August of 2016, right? So that it came out. The Kuma video came out in October, and when that came out, and when the Hydras launched kind of simultaneously, I was really excited. I was super. To me, that was when it became more than just something to mess around with. It was like, oh, this could be a real hobby for me. This is really exciting.
Yeah.
So I really credit the Ballast Song community as my my introduction to it, but I credit Matt and Around Square as kind of my continuation, because I really looked up to the AO2 crew, Ilya, Weston, and Matt were really. I would watch their videos. I'd analyze their videos so closely, and I was just so impressed, especially Ilya. At that time, I feel like he was so clean and controlled, and I just watched a video of Ilya doing a ladder, and I said, I have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's still clean to this day, honestly. Just looking back in his videos. Yeah, the GOAT for sure.
He's the GOAT.
Which is funny because a lot of the new generation would consider you the GOAT
I'm
because
not
of
the
your
GOAT, man.
tutorials. How did that start out? Why did you make a tutorial on YouTube?
Yeah, so actually, what's his name on Reddit? Swipe. If anybody remembers
I
Swipe,
remember Swipe. Yeah.
yeah, he was a British kid. Um, he he on Reddit he said let's start like a tutorial Wednesdays kind of thing. Like every Wednesday we'll post tutorials, and I said, all right, that sounds cool. You know, I'm still trying to fill time where I used to play video games. So I had my AO2 Sport Titans, and I felt like I had just figured out the baby steps of Begleri, where I wasn't just doing two finger wraps anymore. I felt like I could flow. Like I finally felt like I could throw on music and actually flow for
The
a few
first
minutes.
feeling of the flow, yes. Oh man, I wish I could
Yeah.
relive that. Honestly.
It's a really eye-opening experience, especially because I was with Bally. I couldn't flow at all. I could do maybe one or two moves in a row. Like I did behind the 8 ball, and that was really the furthest I got, and that felt cool. And I was finding ways to link helix and behind the 8 ball. If any Bally flippers are listening, they'll kind of know what I'm talking about. Those are just really rollover combinations. So I learned how to do that, and I kind of had that same feeling with Begleri, kind of doing simple moves, just like thumb and index gap transfers, and no, I couldn't even do rolls at this time.
Wow. Speaking about your tutorials, if you were to do it ever again, Mitch, I mean, obviously you can still make new tutorials, but it's not like you're ever gonna go back and remake your tutorials. But if you had the knowledge you did now, and you were making those tutorials for the first time, was there anything that you would change?
I think, I mean, I kind of did a reset. I had that first tutorial in my pajamas, and then a couple months later I said, all right, let me start over. Let me do a full beginner's introduction, because I wasn't happy with the quality of that first video anymore. So lost my train of thought. Sorry. If I could go back and do it again, I don't know if I would do anything different than that second run I did at it, because there's not much more basics I can get into. Like I tried to make it as simple as possible, and even then on that video, a lot of people will comment and say, "Oh, you're going too fast. You're not showing me anything. I'm not learning. You're going too quickly." So I don't know how much slower I could go. I do think anything beyond the beginner videos are all worth doing over again. I mean, especially like springs. There's no good tutorial on how to do a spring properly. And even then, I had been doing springs for months, and Ilya had pointed out that I was actually doing it wrong. So, yeah, if like I said, the beginner, the absolute basics, I feel like are okay, but anything beyond that, I definitely could redo it. Just because I know how to do it better now.
Because of Ilya's comments on your springs, is that why you became the spring master? I remember there's this one section of your slinging history where you were just obsessed with slings. Like every single trick you did, your kata, like karate kata, was a spring, pretty much. But you were so smooth at them.
I love springs. I think they're one of the best. I really do think they're one of the best tricks. I think it's really, really cool how you jump up a grip and you're using a different finger. And I had been messing around with something very similar to springs, where I kind of did a wrap and then unwrapped. I didn't understand how to link it into the full move until I saw Ilya doing it. And then I kind of figured out a version of it. But what Ilya pointed out to me is there's a kind of a flicking motion you do to shoot the beads out. Is what he actually was on WhatsApp, that he told me this. He said, "Hey, you're not doing it totally right." And he sent me these slow-mo videos where you flick momentum into the beads, and I just drilled it, trying to get it how he showed me. So yeah, I mean, I definitely remember there was a time period where low spring to two finger roll and then piano transfer to mid spring was my go-to combo for a long time.
What do you consider is your best tutorial?
My best tutorial?
Yeah, can you talked about you would go back and change a lot, but what would you consider your best one that you're most proud of? Well, if that's the same, of course.
I'm gonna pull up my channel really quick and look at my videos. My best tutorial. I think a lot of people, I think I'm really happy with how the Whirls and Anti-Springs video came out.
That was my favorite. Obviously, I made the video on that video.
I was looking back and I remember I was pretty new on Instagram still, and I saw Ilya do a whirl, and my mind just exploded because at the time, nobody was doing anything like it. And I think today we take whirls for granted. I mean, it looks like the set is just melting through your fingers, and especially because the way Ilya was doing it, he figured it out, and then not only did he figure it out, he perfected it. So it was just utterly beautiful. And when I figured it out, I felt so excited. I had to make a video on it. I DM'd Ilya and I was like, "Hey man, I really would love to. What is this move called? I'd really love to make a video on it." And he said, "Yeah, it's called Whirls, and go for it." So once I made that video, everybody in the Discord and on Instagram, nobody knew how to do it. And then once I made that video, I saw a lot of people getting it. So I was very excited by how that turned out. I was very happy that one of my videos could directly help at least a few people really get a feel for a move that I felt was so foundational and fun.
Yeah.